Hey, and welcome to this week's Jamstack Incubation Engineering Update. I'm Yanis, and first, some great news. The YAML source editor extension is finally merged. This means there's now an extension available to GitLab developers that enables them to programmatically interact with the content of YAML files inside the source editor. Just to recap, because I've demoed it in this channel before, but it has been a few weeks ago, so just here we go again. Let's imagine I have this source editor here. This is just a random page I threw together for the purpose of this demo. But it's loaded with the YAML source editor extension, and it's got all this YAML content. Don't care about the content right now, but just for demo. Now, let's say I want to interact with the values of that file in the front end. I now have several abilities and I'm going to demo them. One, the extension contains a parser stringer file. It's this one from this package called YAML. So I can now go in and say editor get doc. And now I get this document object from the YAML package that I can now interact with and modify. Let's save it to the variable for the moment. Now I can, for example, use the add-in function to add, let's say, an npm run test add pages script. Now we can save it back to the editor with setDoc and see how it updated up there? Okay, so there's more. What if we have a JavaScript object that we would like to see inside the editor as YAML, like this one? We can now just go to editor set data model, and it will do the whole stringification for us. Ta-da! And it works the other way around too. Let's do editor get data model, and we get a JS object again. Now, if you need to inject comments with plain JavaScript objects, this is also something I have added to the extension. Mark a property as a comment by using a hash as its key, or by prefixing its key with a hash sign, or for arrays, just prefixing the string with a hash and it will become a comment. That's still not all the extension can do. It can also highlight certain parts of the YAML when being passed a path to it. I can call editor.highlight with a path and bing, it'll find that place inside the YAML and add the line highlights. And it'll also expose the locate function that is used by the highlight method. So if there's ever the case that you need to know what kind of line numbers a certain part of the YAML is in, you can just run locate and it'll return those line numbers, you see? All this is available in master as of this week, so this is pretty useful. And of course, I'm my own best client and I'm using it in the Pages onboarding wizard. Many of you who follow my updates know that I'm working on pushing an onboarding wizard for GitLab Pages. This was a short week because of contribute, but I went down another rabbit hole on that. In order to make the tests better, I needed to abstract the components used for this a little bit more. And when I started abstracting, I thought, why don't I go all the way? Abstract not only the input fields, also abstract this step page. Maybe just abstract the entire wizard. And this is what I'm halfway through doing today. The idea is that I create this pipeline wizard that initially is used for pages, yes, but it doesn't care that it is about pages. All the input fields, the labels, the texts, the steps, all these I'm going to define in a YAML file that may look like this, kind of. You see there's one YAML section per step, and they correspond to a page. It then contains a template of the YAML bit it will inject into the users.gitlab CI YAML in the front end later. So this YAML file is basically going to be an instruction to the onboarding wizard on how it's going to look like. And if this works, there could be a template like this not only for pages, but for literally anything. Apps, deployments, packages, everything could have their own wizard just by specifying a template written in YAML for it. It's basically like our GitLab CI YAML templates, but interactive. And then we could put those templates that we created into a repository. We could get the community to contribute their own wizards. We can have admins maintain their instance-specific wizards. Okay. I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. We're just not there yet. But I like to entertain the idea, and we'll see how it will go. Now, this was the update for this slightly shorter week. And I will be off next week because I'm moving to Germany. But we will see each other again in the week after that. And until then, I say goodbye.